So we got some new information going on with the Microsoft Activision Blizzard acquisition that is going on right now from the UK reports right now, and I will bring this up. And UK report is saying that if Microsoft and the Activision deal would go through, it would give Xbox the leading position over all genres except sport. And for the most part, UK is siding with PlayStation on this acquisition of Activision, and they're saying that this is going to give Microsoft too much of a competitive edge over the other consoles and other genre. And I honestly can't understand what UK is actually trying to explain here, because it doesn't make any sense in my opinion. Now, I'm just going to give you my honest thoughts on this whole thing, and you can take it for whatever it's worth. I am not a fanboy. I am representing my PlayStation shirt with my Xbox hat. You can see behind me I have tons of Switch games, Xbox games, PlayStation games. I am a gaming fan above all else. I'm a gaming fan. I go where the games go. I can't play Valkyrie Elysium on Xbox, so I bought it on PlayStation 5. I go where the games go. But to sit here and say that if this acquisition would go through, that it would give Microsoft the leading position, to me, that is just a ludicrous statement. And I think anybody with any common knowledge of the video game market will look at that and be like, well, that's just not true. For a perfect example of that is, look at Nintendo. There is no Call of Duty games on the Nintendo Switch, yet the Nintendo Switch is the highest selling console right now, and it's pulling out way more higher selling games out there. Like Mario Kart 8 has been in the top 5 for how long? If not top 10 for years, right? So to say that by them having Activision Blizzard would give Microsoft the lead position is just not true. It's not true, because Nintendo will still be outselling both the PlayStation and the Xbox, regardless if Activision was now owned by Microsoft or not. That's just not true. And above all that, you look at it right now, Microsoft is like the fourth in this whole console war thing. If you want to do this console war thing, like Tencent is selling more software than Microsoft is selling software. So it's not true. And Sony and Jim Ryan flying out to UK to meet with these people. Sony is sad because they feel like they're going to lose Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is their massive cash cow, and they want to cry about it. Yet Sony is responsible for doing the exact same thing. There's a reason why I don't have Final Fantasy VII Remake on my Xbox Series X. That's because of Sony. There's a reason why Valkyrie Elysium is on the PlayStation 5. There's reasons why Spider-Man is not on the Xbox console, because Sony signs these exclusive deals to keep them off the Microsoft platform. But when Microsoft says, okay, we're going to buy Activision, Sony wants to now play hypocrite and whine about it. Go, we're going to lose everything. We can't compete. We can't compete. When they have games like Killzone and Resistance Fall of Man that they can actually go out, try to compete with, and be able to compete with Call of Duty, which is still going to stay on the PlayStation platform for at least this entire generation. And another thing to make sense to prove Sony wrong in this state is, if they lose Call of Duty, they can't compete. They just can't. They're going to lose everything. Nintendo does not have Call of Duty. Nintendo does not need Call of Duty. Nintendo has great first-party titles like Mario Odyssey, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 3, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super or Ultimate Super Smash Brothers, right? They have this large list of library of first-party games, and they also have exclusive games. So for Sony to sit there and cry that they're going to lose Call of Duty and they don't know how to do, Sony didn't need, like, someone used this comparison. And I wish I can give this person credit, because I don't remember who said this. If every Call of Duty player on the PlayStation console would actually leave and go to Xbox, PlayStation would still outsell the Xbox in terms of systems and software. That is absolutely true. Absolutely, because people go to PlayStation for the God of Wars, the Horizons, the Last of Us, the Uncharted. We go for the first-party titles. I own a PlayStation 5 right here. My PlayStation 5 controller right here next to my Xbox controller. And guess what? My PlayStation 5 is hooked up because I like playing games like God of War, Horizon, Uncharted, those type of games. I don't play PlayStation 5 for Call of Duty. So even if the normies out there who just play their sports games and just play their Call of Duty games every year, even if all those people would just magically one day, Thanos would come in and just snap and all those people leave the PlayStation platform and ship to Microsoft, PlayStation will still outsell Xbox and Microsoft by just having their hardcore fans that like their first-party titles like Horizon, God of War, and Last of Us. That is an absolute fact. Look at Nintendo. Nintendo doesn't need a Call of Duty. They didn't need a Call of Duty this whole generation, and look how the Nintendo Switch platform is performing compared to these other consoles. Look at games like Mario Kart 8. How old is Mario Kart 8? That game's like, what, almost 10 years old? This game was a port from a Wii U copy, and it's still in the top of the selling charts. All types of games that Nintendo first-party games come out with, Mario Odyssey, Splatoon 3, Zelda Breath of the Wild. These sold millions upon millions of copies because the Nintendo fan base does not care about Call of Duty. They care about those great first-party titles. People that are PlayStation hardcore pure care about those first-party titles. I'm getting all excited. I'm knocking my thing over. They care about those first-party titles. So the fact that regulators in the UK are saying that by Xbox getting this deal approved will be the leading position over all genres except sports, that's just a ludicrous, not true, and asinine statement. That is an asinine statement, and it's 100% false because they're like number 4th or 5th in the running right now. And Sony, who also is being hypocritical because Sony goes out and they buy Bungie, and they buy all these other studios. They make deals with Sony, or they make deals with Disney to have Spider-Man exclusively on their contract. They have Wolverine exclusive. Final Fantasy 16 is going to be exclusive. Final Fantasy 7 is not on the Xbox. It just now went to PC, but it's not on the Xbox. They do this exclusivity stuff all the time. And now they want to cry because they're going to lose their cash cow. But even if they do, Sony will still be outselling the Xbox by a large number, which just doesn't make sense. So, as a gaming fan, I just want to come out and say that I think this is absolutely ludicrous, and I think that the UK regulators I don't want to accuse anybody of pocketing money, but I just don't see where they're coming from. I don't see how Jim Ryan can sit there and actually convince the regulators, especially when there's other countries like Brazil. It's like, no, this ain't right. Like, them owning Activision doesn't change anything in the marketplace. It's just not. And the regulators aren't supposed to care about the other companies. The regulators are supposed to care about us, the consumers. So it feels like certain regulators were pushed in a certain direction, and I don't understand why. But that's just my thoughts on it, guys. I want to know what you guys think. Be sure to leave your comments in the comment box below. Till next time, as always, I'm Robert Storms. That's my opinion.